I want you to hear is the clarity, because that means we're heading closer to that full, free mixed voice. Nights of endless pleasure. Eventually we'll be able to turn that ugly up and go, nights of endless pleasure, all the way up to here. Hey, and welcome to our video on how to learn to sing. It's all coming back to me now by Celine Dion. She's so beautiful and inspiring, and so I wanted to break this song down because the way she hits those high notes and still has so much tenderness in the lower notes are really what makes her voice so exceptional. So I want you to learn how to have that dynamic and that beautiful tone when you sing this song. There are keys. So today I'll be going through 4 major keys on how to sing this song. Don't miss the last one because that's the one that pulls it all together. Hi, I'm Angie and I'm passionate about helping you learn to unlock your voice. That's why we do these songs. That's why our channel exists. So click subscribe, the notifications, because we're sending them out all the time so that you can learn to sing the way you've always dreamed with your voice. And don't forget to comment, ask questions. You can click the link tree as well if you just want some private lessons, some one-on-one feedback, or some of our online courses and content. We're here to help you learn to love your voice like you've never dreamed. So let's jump into the 4 keys on how to sing this song. Now we're going to start with the verse to talk about that emotion and then obviously head up to some of those big notes and how to unlock those so we're not squeezing, they're not disappearing. So firstly, let's start with that verse. Let's have a little listen to how she starts those first couple of lines and then start to apply some tools. Here we go. Wow, now already she started with this big power voice and then into this gentle, intimate voice. So let's have a look at that. Now, one of the things, remember, when we're practicing a song that an artist has learned or sung in a studio, they've got reverb and effects. So we always need to make sure that when we're singing it, we're listening, we're either singing in the bathroom, on a microphone, or using our in-ears. Remember, for those of you that know me, so it's coning your ear, making sure it comes under your jaw so you can hear all that resonance. It gives you a closer sound so that we can match what they're doing. The reason that's so important is a lot of the time we're over singing, we're pushing, we're squeezing to try and create that sound. So that means the extra tension reduces the tonal quality and the access to the high notes because that's not what they're doing. So we want to make sure we're comparing apples for apples. Otherwise, that's apples and we're lemons because we're squeezing and creating this pressure that they're not doing to get that beautiful tone, and they've got the reverb on top. So in your bathroom, wherever it is, that's closer to the real thing and it's going to relax us straight away. So we want to come in with that power line and make sure that it's sounding good in here. Now, if it doesn't sound good in here, it is going to get better if you practice 40 times and you'll start to notice the tone will get better. But do the lines 40 times, like an exercise. There were nights when the wind seemed so cold. Now you can feel it jumps up right there, right? So we might need to try our tongue out. Let's try that together again. There were nights when the wind seemed so cold. It's tricky straight away, right? Now we might need to let some air out. So let's take a nice deep breath. Let 80% out, tongue out. There were nights when the wind seemed so cold. Now, obviously, you're not going to sing like this in public, but we're teaching the muscles to do something new. So when we let the air out, remember what it does? It reduces the airflow so that we're not getting that resistance. Now, our vocal folds vibrate at around 160 times a second on the low notes, but when we jump up to that so, it's going to go to 800 times a second. So if we've got a lot of air pressure, that's going to block us straight away from that note. So that's why we want to reduce the air while we're learning to reduce the friction. And then the tongue out stops any squeezing that's happening in here to restrict that note, because we're going from a low note to a medium note and we need to get that in the right place. So let's try that again. Nice deep breath. Let 80% out. Tongue out. There were nights when the wind seemed so cold. Good, let's try it again. Nice deep breath. Let it out. There were nights when the wind seemed so cold. Now the so should feel like it's going down. Now, as I've told you before, not everyone feels it. At first, you're just going to know the high notes go down and back, and they're rolling back and forward. So the low notes are forward, the high notes are back. How crazy is that? So there were times when the wind seemed so cold. Feels like further back for me when I go to the so. Now, as I said, you don't need to feel it, but we're starting to think backwards and forwards. The high notes aren't up, remember? They roll along the roof of our mouth. And also, you may feel both. You may feel forward and back. By the time we get into the higher notes, there's 5 things happening. So there's a lot of dynamics going on. There were nights when the wind was so cold. Got it right. Sometimes the words are wrong, sorry. But you get what I mean. We're just trying to navigate that area. Now, how did that feel? The reason we're just camping on this is because we're going to use these tools later on, and then I'm going to give you the big, amazing breakthrough tool at the end. But we want to start with these ones to lay those foundations that you're thinking forward and back, forward and back. We're not trying to over-sing, which reduces that tension that's blocking us from those high notes. And we want to reduce that airflow. Now she's going into that gentleness, so let's listen to that. My body froze in bed. So that gentleness. Now this intensity to gentleness is part of what grabs us in this song. It's the emotion, so it's not the words. The words need to be reinforced by the way we're singing. And this is where we start to get the X factor when we are singing a song, is when we start to hear how the power, the gentleness, the wistfulness creates an emotion in us that reinforces the message of the song. So going from that power to that gentleness. Now for some of you, the gentle and the lower ones are harder. So you might have to use the tongue out to get that tone and to get those lower gentle notes on the roof of your mouth. They're not down here, they're on the roof of our mouth to really unlock that gentle wistfulness so you can create more emotion when you sing the song. That my body, so gentle, so she's going, so cold, that my body. So practice that because that's that dynamic. So cold is that desperation, that my body, that wistful, almost letting go. So she's going from that powerful to this like almost resigned, gentle vulnerability. That power is where you're going to see you grab people when you sing. So that power is what you want to then get happening in your singing. So let's go from that so cold that my body. Pop your ears in if you need to. Have your tongue out, air out. So cold, so cold. So there was a bit of movement going there, so it's really reinforcing that cold. So let's try that again, in ears. Let your air out if you need to. Always take a deep breath. Then let some out. So cold that my body. That's tricky, isn't it? Do you need to put your tongue out? Let's try it again. Nice deep breath. So cold that my body. How crazy is that? Now, it doesn't matter if you're running out of air, but you want to start to use that wistfulness that she's doing with that to create emotion. But the muscles are having to do very different things. So the big power in that first bit, it's a totally different muscle combination to the soft wistfulness. So you might need to do some of those soft, medium, loud exercises to teach your voice to go from loud to soft. Most people going from loud to soft is harder for them than going soft to loud. So make sure you're doing the soft to loud and the loud to soft exercises to train those muscles to do that so it becomes easier when you're singing songs. And we do have some great training videos that teach that. jump over into our courses, and there's some really cheap, easy ones. We've got some on the YouTube as well of how to do the loud, soft, medium to teach the muscles to start to do those things. Game changer.
For the first 30 years of my life, I couldn't hit the high notes. I couldn't talk properly. I'd go to sing and it would just disappear.
I found love. So I know personally what it's like to have those frustrations when you can't sing the songs you love. So there's ways you can do that, but they're opposite to what you think.
Oh, now I'm done believing you.
Where the placement is for those notes, how to not squeeze, lose air, all those sorts of things. And from the first session with me, you're going to start to notice a difference. Hi, I'm Angie. I've got masterclasses that will help you sing the songs you love, total freedom. I can't wait to help you. How amazing is that? Now, part of the thing she does here is she does that whole song without taking a breath or stopping. So she creates this fluidity within the desperation that takes you somewhere. If she goes, outside my window, doesn't do the same as outside my window. Even the holding a little bit of vibrato, all that creates emotion that changes us. Now, you may not be able to hear this at the moment, but the more you listen to songs, you're going to notice how when artists go loud or go soft or do a little bit of an or they hold the whole line with one breath, how it starts to stir something in you. And that's the power behind the words of just singing a song that gives you the X factor and draws people in when you're singing. Now, she can feel nothing and sing this, but she's learnt how to craft that emotion to touch us and to draw us in. And you'll notice the songs and the singers that really touch us, they've learnt how to craft that. Mind-blowing, right? So play with those things. I'm going to just jump over to the big power notes now for you to show you how to get those with the little tools we've been using. So before we go there, remember the tools are reducing the airflow, so we hit those power notes. The other tool is tongue out to reduce that squeezing, to restrict us from the high notes or the low notes. And then the third one is going from the highs, those loud ones, to the soft ones to create emotion. Now, you might need your tongue out to get that emotion in the soft as well. But there's a lot going in, even in those first two lines of the song, that grab us and stir something that makes us want to lean in and go on this emotional journey she's taking on with her voice. Now let's have a look at those power notes that really take us there, how she's crafting those. So I'm jumping over to 220 in this song to where she's starting to build after that verse. There were moments of gold. She's even lingering on there. Pop your ears in. Let's get that line. There were moments of gold. Let's try that line. There were moments of gold, gold. We're just lingering on those special moments she's trying to linger on. I like your ears in, because then we're not going to over sing. Let's try it again. There were moments of gold. Now, if you feel like it's getting stuck, tongue out. There were moments of gold. Again. There were moments of gold. Because we want to get it in that mid place so we can jump up. If we're singing too strongly on the bottom, then we're not going to be able to get to the next step. Excellent. So make sure it feels easy. Let the air out if you need to. Bubble it. So you got to work out the easiest one for you to open that up. There were flashes of light. Now that light at the back of the roof of my mouth, that's actually going backwards. Light. There were flashes of light. Even though it's going lower, I can feel it on the roof of my mouth going backwards. And this is a key thing when you're doing vocal runs. You actually end up, when they're really free and you hear people doing them free, it's at the back of your mouth on the roof that you hold them when it's moving fast. There were flashes of light. So I'm holding it up. My larynx is dropping, but that's what creates the fluidity as it's easy. Let's try that again if you need to. Tongue out, or in ears, air out, or bubbles. Or bubbles. I had to adjust for my bubbles there. But you want to roll that 20, 30 times till it feels even. Every line like an exercise, to roll it till it feels like it's in the right place. Always when I'm learning something new, the first 10 times I do it, it feels like, oh, that's terrible. It feels all over the place. Then I find the spot and I roll it till my muscle memory's got it. That's where you're going to see mastery, is when you take section by section, roll it till you start to feel like it's right. Now let's do that line again with either your tongue out, your bubbles, whatever feels easiest for you. Okay, ready? There were flashes of light. Now I want to make that smoother like she did so it doesn't disrupt. So let's try that again. Nice deep breath. Gonna let it all out. There were flashes of light. Good. With your bubbles. Be thinking about the intensity. Let's go to the next one. So that's all pretty standard. Always see right. Make sure you got those lines solid. Always see right. Always see right. So make sure you got that line nice and solid. Always see right. Take it slow till it feels even. Because it's starting to get higher. There were nights of endless pleasure. As she's going higher, you're going to start to feel forward and back. Not everyone feels it, but this is where the little secret comes in. As we're getting higher, what a lot of artists do is they do a bend over. Now the reason for that is those notes are wanting to resonate very forward, but you're also going to feel them back. So if we do a slight bend, it helps them pop into place while we're working it out. So in that, if we try it with a little bit of a bend over, this is going to help us with all the high ones. Now I'm going to do it with a nice deep breath in, my tongue out and bend over. Let's try that together. So nice deep breath. Let it out. Tongue out. There were nights of endless pleasure. Try it again. Nice deep breath. There were nights of endless pleasure. How's that feeling? Easier? Some people even stand over and bend all the way over. So try that. Let's do it again. There were nights of endless pleasure. You can hear it's a little bit light, but that's all right. That's the foundation of the volume. Let's try it again. There were nights of endless pleasure. Good. Now next we're going to add in that ugly and what that does, it helps us get the connection while we're going up and getting that fullness so it doesn't disconnect too much. So let's try that. It looks like this. I'm taking a nice deep breath, letting it all out, and I got to go. There were nights of endless pleasure. Now it sounds terrible, but I want you to hear is the clarity, because that means we're heading closer to that full, free mixed voice. Now I'm giving you all these tools because for all these tools we're using, for each one of you, 2 will work and 2 won't. So the quicker you can roll around and seeing which one works, because you want to build the layers. And so when I'm showing you these, I'm going, now that's a little bit thin, but that's the right place to build volume. Because sometimes people push for volume and it's never going to get better. But if we do these tools, you're going to end up, the breakthrough's going to come. So if we do that, nights of endless pleasure, eventually we'll be able to turn that ugly off and go, nights of endless pleasure, all the way up to here. As she goes right up to those higher notes, it'll just get easier and easier. But that's the foundation for you to feel that breakthrough into those higher notes. Hopefully you've loved this content, and we have so much more because we want to help you unlock your singing voice. So feel free to subscribe, like,
comment, and we've got lots of content. There's a course you can jump into that we've made really affordable so you can learn the steps to unlock your singing and your voice, or you can book me one-on-one if you need that clarity and the direction to unlock faster. Either way, can't wait to see you in the next video.